Hello and welcome. I'm the Grim Reaper and welcome back to another Battlefront 2 video. Today I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for Extraction, which is the new mode that came in the second part of the DLC. So, what Extraction is the rebels try to push a payload through a series of objectives. There's 4 objectives and you have 5 minutes to reach each one. If you complete the objective and reach the checkpoint before that time is up, it just renews to 5 minutes again, and you get another 5 minutes. And you hit the next checkpoint, you get another 5 minutes. So the payload will move if there is at least one rebel on the payload and no Imperials on the shipment, as it's called in Battlefront. It will stand still if it's contested, which means there's a rebel and an Imperial on it. And then if nobody's on it at all, then it will stand still also. So the rebels have to push it past those 4 checkpoints, and once they get it to the 4th checkpoint with time still remaining, then they win. The Imperials have to stop it before it gets to the checkpoint, and stop it until time runs out, and not let them hit the checkpoint. Alright, so some tips. First off, we're going to talk about what star cards you should be using. I like health star cards, so for assault I like to use Toughen Up, which is an ability that when you activate it, your health will regenerate the second you're done taking damage. So you take a bullet, press that button, and it will immediately start regenerating. Bodyguard is a very good one for all classes because it means you take less damage from explosives, and there are a lot of explosives in this mode because it's such close quarters. Also explosive star cards, obviously, so improved thermal detonator, barrage, improved flash grenade. Just don't use the specialist though. It's not good in close quarters. I mean, the infiltration ability is very good for close range, but it's just not worth it because you only have a sniper. And it's really hard to hit sniper shots if you don't have a mouse and keyboard. If you have a mouse and keyboard, it's a little bit easier in on PC with mouse in close quarters, but if not, I advise against it. And then of course, explosives. At the beginning of rounds, you all spawn in like one place, so people will spam explosives, and you will be in a lot of trouble. So you try to stay out of the clump of people, but still throw grenades into the other clump of people at the beginning. And then I normally get 2 to 3 kills a round with a thermal detonator, because they're just standing in one place, and they'll die. So make sure you do that at the beginning of a round, and also in the middle of a round, if you're on defense, throw an explosive onto the cart if it's moving, because they will die. Another tip number 3. Close quarter guns. Don't use, like I said before, snipers or long range blasters like the assault has. He has the EL-44. Don't use that unless you really like it and you're really good with it. It's not worth it because you're in close quarters. It has a very low rate of fire and good damage, but still it's not worth it. You really should be using the CR something, which is a very close quarters but lower damage but high fire rate. You can get a lot of damage done if you just hold the trigger on their head, and they will die very quickly, and you can normally win most 1v1 scenarios with that gun and with other close quarter pistols, and all heavy guns will work because it's a heavy repeater. It's always close range. For officer, most pistols will work, but for assault, I really urge you to not use the long range rifles. It's just much easier to be using the close range, high fire rate, lower damage guns. Next tip, map knowledge. So map knowledge is very important. You have to know where you're going on the map and where others could possibly be flanking from. Now, I knew a lot about Jabba's Palace because I played it in the first game, 2015 Battlefront. But Kessel's a new map, so you want to play a couple rounds there, explore the catacombs, not the catacombs, the corridors, and see where everything is. See where you might want to flank, where you might want to go to kill the enemy team, obviously. So try as best you can to memorize that. It's not going to be easy, and you're not going to memorize the whole layout of the whole map. Obviously, try to know, like, oh, hey, look, you can go around this big stairway choke point by going straight forward, where I'm looking with the Wookiee, turning left, and then going through that corridor. And then you can go all the way around, flank around the enemy, throw a grenade, and kill them all. And then it's easier for your team to push through. And that moves us on to the next tip, flanking. Flanking is very good, especially for offense. Like I said, in a choke point like this, you want to get around them so you're not just firing through the choke and staying there, like it is in most other games, like Overwatch. When you're trying to push an objective, sometimes you're just at a stalemate and you can't get past it. Now, we got past this stalemate because I got a couple kills and they got a couple kills. So we were able to push them back, and since a couple of people died, they got scared, fell back, and we were able to push it through. But it's much easier if someone were to go behind and shoot the people that were camping that doorway. When flanking as the defender, like we're doing here, we like to crouch behind the cart and hide. That way, it's harder for them to shoot you, but you can still move the payload. But if you're the defender, it's much easier to go around and quickly burst down their head before they have a chance to react and kill you. So that's a good tip, just to try to stop them from moving the cart. Now, final tip. There's no heroes in this mode, but there are reinforcements with the Death Trooper, the Wookiee, and the Rocket Jumper, the Enforcer. Now, if you like using those, you should, because they are very good. You get a good amount of battle points in this mode. I get a Wookiee pretty quickly, like 2 minutes, honestly. Probably less, because you get a couple kills at the beginning. That's like 500 to 1,000 battle points. Like right here in this spawn life, I got 2 kills, I think, and I have 500 battle points. 3 kills, 700. So you get enough battle points that you will get it really fast. And Wookiee's thermal imploder is very good because obviously it does a ton of damage. The sonic imploder for the Death Trooper is amazing because if you throw it down the corridor, it shows you where all the enemies are, which is incredibly helpful for you and the rest of your team. But also, the Rocket Jumper I don't like because you're in close quarters, so the jetpack doesn't do as good as it should. But other than that, it's pretty good because of the rocket launcher. But I don't like to use it. So let's go over it. Extraction. Try to push the payload, get it past the checkpoints before the defenders can stop you. Star cards, explosives, and healing items such as Toughen Up or Bodyguard, which means you take less damage and you regen health faster, like survivalists. Close quarters guns. Use guns that you can use reliably in close quarters.
Let's go.
And of course, map knowledge. You want to know where you're going and where you are on the map. So that's always a good tip to know. And flanking around. You always want to make sure you go around the enemy team. If it's not such a dangerous situation that you can't do it. Because that way,
Payload's moving once again.
you push around, and they're always hiding behind the cart because they don't want to get hit. So you can easily burst them down with a heavy repeater, such as the TL50, like I'm using here. And also, the cart is not fully on the ground. It's floating a little bit, which means explosives can go under it. So if you have barrage, like I do here, and you're on the defensive side, you want to try to aim under that, because it'll go under, past the cart, hopefully, and it'll get the people crouching behind the cart. Other than that, it's up to you to find what you're comfortable with, what star cards you're comfortable with, what weapons you're comfortable with. Like, I don't like the S5 because it's more of a sniping thing. It can be good for close quarters because it does have high damage, but if you're in a fight with a heavy repeater and you miss a shot or two, you're done because he will kill you. But if you have the SE44C like I'm using here, which is a fully automatic pistol, it's much better. Other than that, I want to thank you all for tuning in. and I'll see you next time for more news videos and tips and tricks videos. Thank you.